Pika check 1 2 1 2. Pika check 1 2 3. Pika check 1 2 1 2. Pika check 1 2 3. Pick it up, y'all. Pick it up, y'all. So what's the scenario? Then pick it up, y'all. Pick it up, y'all. So what's the scenario? I don't think those are the words, but I'm just going with it. Welcome back to the Smoking Puck, your Boston-based Bruins-biased weekly hockey show. Couldn't wait all week? Well, you gotta wait all week. Sorry, them's the rules. Making YouTube content, it's a hobby. It's not like I got a day job. I mean, so I can't, I'd be pretty good at it. I'd find a way to make a lot of money and milk that algorithm. But I'm doing fine as a hobby. This is fun. I mean, our last Smoking Puck show, thank you so much for showing up and subscribing and watching the show. We had at least 120 viewers of the last Smoking Puck. And for my little channel, for this Reverend Sully Network, this Eric O'Sullivan channel, home of the Smoking Puck, that's really good for this little channel. It really is. So we're on our road to our first 1 million subscribers and our first 1 million view video. And I can't do it without you. So please, I'd like to earn your subscription. So smash that like button, smash that hype button, leave a comment, hit the share button. Any and all of these help the algorithm suggest this little hockey show to anyone out there that might want to have some hockey talk this NHL season. Other things going on in the hockey world. Lots of things besides NHL, National Hockey League, the Pro League. You're wondering why I'm wearing a Chicago Blackhawks jersey? I'm a hockey fan. The Bruins are my team. And I do love the hockey jersey. The hockey jersey is perhaps the nicest sports uniform out there of all the four sports. I love hockey jerseys. It's not just my favorite sport. Maybe here we go with the bias again. Everyone's got a bias. Everyone's got a bias for their home team. Or most people, maybe typically have a bias for their home team. Maybe. Who knows? Sometimes you just might hate the Bruins. I got a friend. He split his time with New York, so that might explain things. He might be a secret Rangers fan. I'm talking to you, Thomas Kilkey. Yeah, if you're tuning in, shout out. He's made his feelings of the Boston Bruins quite clear to me, and using very colorful metaphors and derogatory terms to describe my fair home team. But how are you doing out there? Leave a comment, leave a concern. You got any questions, comments, concerns? Bring it up with the ombudsman, who is also the executive producer. Pikachu, that's right. I am just the talent. I only read what he writes. These copious amounts of show notes that I am given week after week after week. But I'm the face and the voice of the network. But the brains, the brawn, and the banker are right here on my shoulder all this time. You can see some older stuff too in the playlists. I've been doing YouTube now, 4 or 5 years. I've been on Wes's show for 3, and I've been talking about hockey. Very little amount of that time. Only in the past year, seriously. The Smoking Puck. See, I had plans on, getting myself an Instagram, a TikTok, a MySpace, a Facebook, a new YouTube channel called The Smoking Puck, a Twitter X account, maybe a Bluesky account, maybe a Truth Social account. Ooh, maybe broadcast these on Rumble and on Twitch. You know what I mean? And, get a different background and graphics and, a different logo. I actually have a logo designed. I did. I went ahead and designed a logo myself. It's my art. It's my artwork. And, but with YouTube being so fickle that's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort. Plus, but by doing that, by putting the Smoking Puck into its own channel. It would be a dedicated hockey channel. And that would generate more interest on the algorithm than anything else. See here, the Eric O'Sullivan channel. It's a bit of a hodgepodge, a potpourri. It's a bit of a this and a that. So I've heard it from plenty of YouTubers that if you want to get that next level, Sully, you want to be a next level YouTuber, well, you got to diversify your channels. You need a hockey channel, a cooking channel, a spirituality channel, and a comic book channel. And that's a lot of effort. I like what I do. This is, like I said, this is a hobby. This is a nice pastime, and it's a great way to connect with people. It's a great way to work on diction, work on public speaking, work on fear of speaking to people in public. I mean, this is a good way to solve that. I mean, in my humble experience, especially when it comes to speaking out loud to other people, YouTubing has benefited me that so much. It amazes me. I think and speak so quickly and so fast with a half-assed Boston accent. And I mumble because I'm speaking so fast. So when I'm speaking on YouTube, I purposefully turn the speed down on myself down to about a 3 or a 4 if your dial goes to 11, like my mouth and brain does. And it just amazes me that, like, wow, I'm looking at the replays and it's like, you sound normal. So yay. The positives of it. But yeah, I would have done a second channel for Smoking Puck content, but that's a lot of work. And this is a hobby, you know what I mean? And, but I have a plan. There's a plan, there was a plan, but it would take a lot of work. I mean, I get enough distraction on YouTube and Twitter X. Now add Instagram to that, TikTok, Facebook, Twitch, Rumble, Bluesky, Truth, Parler. Oh boy. I don't need that in my life. I'm a peaceful kind of guy, I guess. This is enough. But I just want to let you know that this is from the heart. It's from the hip. I'm a lifelong Boston Bruins fan. I grew up in South Boston, Massachusetts, 02127. And hockey is a culture. It's a fabric of life in Boston and, well, just of New England. It's unfair just to say Boston. It's the area. Youth hockey, high school hockey, college hockey, and pro hockey, beer leagues, just hockey is a way of life here in Massachusetts and in Boston and in New England with winter and ice. And having an original 6 team for over 100 years. That's amazing. I love hockey. So yeah, hockey is my favorite sport. And hopefully yours too. And oh boy, kind of got off track a bit. So yeah, there is more to there is more to the, what was it, Horatio, the more to the world and just your I could look it up, but I don't want to. Shakespeare, Hamlet. There's more to heaven and earth, Horatio, than there's more to heaven and earth. There is more to heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Act 1, Scene 5. Hamlet and Horatio encounter the ghost of Hamlet's father on the battlements of Elsinore. And I hope you're doing all well out there. Hope you had a good Christmas. I hope you're going to have a great, happy new year. It's the end of 2005. So we're going to have at the end of the show a wrap up of 2005. Our feelings our feelings as a hockey fan. Talk about our feelings. Statistics don't care about your feelings. Remember that. The numbers just don't really care about your fifis, about whether you like a certain jersey more than another jersey, and that like this player's stinky. Oh, but their numbers still hold up. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Have a cup of tea. Maybe a bit of a stuffy nose. I was told that, like, I sounded a little nasal. F's in the chat for my health. Ooh, no, I'm feeling fine. I have been a little under the weather and hanging out with friends who have had colds. So it's like, sniffles, not cold sores. Okay, not those kind of friends. Just hey, waka waka. Whoa. There are more to heaven and earth, Horatio, than dreamt of in your philosophy, and that's just like the arrogance and the superiority and privilege of being an NHL hockey fan, National Hockey League, where we have 32 teams, where they make billions of dollars, where there's a salary cap that is based upon a 50-50 revenue split, and all of these billions of dollars every year are split equally between the owners and the players' ability to generate an income. And that was settled upon in collective bargaining agreements going back to 2004, 2005. So the NHL have just extended that pre-existing working agreement. This working agreement was extended in 2020, and it was extended again with some minor provisions here and there. We talked about it in detail last episode. You can check that one out on the links to the playlists and everything. We try to make evergreen content, but hey, this is hockey. So it's like there's a lot of change. Things change left and right in hockey, such as the standings, your place in the standings, who is the goals leader, who's number one, who's number 8 in any given division. How close is your team to 1 or 8? Are they playoff worthy? Are they playoff bound? Does your team desperately need a trade to shake things up? All these questions and more. But yeah, the privilege of just being in an NHL team. Underneath the NHL are several layers of minor pro professional hockey, namely the American Hockey League, which is the next step down, the AAA League, and then the league that comes after that. The anti-penultimate league, the NHL being the ultimate league, the AHL, American Hockey League, being the penultimate league, and then the ECHL, the East Coast Hockey League, with its 29 teams, its expected expansion to 30 or 32 soon. It's a bus league. It's a AAA. It's AAA in the farm system. Most teams have affiliations with parent clubs, the parent club being the National Hockey League team. So your development players, your young players. And then there are also, just minor pro lifers, hockey players that just couldn't make the big times. But, and the ECHL, the East Coast Hockey League, has an attendance of plus or minus 4,000 to 5,000 people per game. So it's a tougher league being schedule wise because it's a smaller scale in smaller cities. Let's look at let's name some East Coast Hockey League. East Coast Hockey League. The Cincinnati Cyclones, the Florida Everblades, the Fort Wayne Comets, the Toledo Walleye, the Orlando Solar Bears. And then there was a strike. The players union, they've been playing without a collective bargaining agreement between the players union and the league since it expired in the summer of 2025. They were unable to get until this weekend an agreement between management and the union, because the players union, had legitimate safety and dignity concerns. I'm a union employee, so I'm actually keenly interested in this on its own level. It's like union negotiations. What do the union members need from management? They need better work conditions, and some of them were simple, like they needed better pay. They get they get paid very little per week. But remember, this is a bus league. And, so it's like, it's weird because it's like, how much does the owners do? How much do the owners really make? And can they afford the demands of the players? And their demands are they need better sticks. They need composite sticks these days. Custom sticks are so expensive. Hockey sticks are so expensive these days. They really are. And then those costs get pushed onto the owners who have to buy, maybe if you can get some kind of merchandising agreement, you can get some sponsorship, you can get, be the platform to sell these kind of sticks, you know what I mean? To mom and pops, who can't afford them either. But their sons and daughters need that composite fiber stick. They just gotta have it. How sticks break. Oh man. Wiki. How about a wiki? I want a wiki because I like to read wikis. The ECHL and the wiki. It's a minor league professional hockey league team based in Shrewsbury, New Jersey, with teams across the United States and Canada. Competitively, it is a tier below the American Hockey League. The league serves as a farm system to the AHL and the National Hockey League NHL. The ECHL are the only minor leagues recognized by the collective bargaining agreement between the NHL and the NHL Players Association, the NHLPA, meaning any player signed to an NHL entry-level contract and designated for assignment must report to a club in either the ECHL or the AHL. Additionally, the league's players are represented, and this is where the PA, so players of the ECHL and the AHL are represented by the Professional Hockey Players Association, and at least 700, and okay. As of the 25-26 seasons, 30 of the 32 NHL teams held affiliations with an ECHL team, with only the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Utah Mammoth having no such franchise affiliation. NHL teams sometimes lend contracted players to ECHL teams, which they have no affiliation agreements with, for development and increasing playing time. The league's regular season typically begins in October and ends in April. Remember, this is a bus league, and the players have to endure 10-hour bus trips and not get a day off afterwards. So a lot of this had to do with health, safety, and dignity concerns. Like if you're going to be playing 3 games in a row, and then you're going to need a day off after that. If you're going to have a bus trip that's 10 hours long, you're going to need a day off after that, because you're just coming off the bus after playing a game. So that's we got to have helmets that are not hand-me-down equipments. They used equipment. There were allegations, proven or unproven, but there were allegations of owners using previously used equipment in a professional hockey league, in a minor pro hockey league. I mean, I don't even think that college hockey players, use used equipment like that, like get hand-me-downs. So it's it was sticks, it was helmets, it was days off, and it's meal per diem. They were raised to have a meal per diem. They can spend $60 a day and be reimbursed with receipts. They get furnished apartments in the cities that they're assigned to. So if you get shipped down to one of the ECHL teams, say the Florida Everblades, they have lodging for you. They probably have an agreement with a condo or something where you get a room, a flop house, cooking your meals on a hot plate. And the ECHL, yeah, the affiliate, there are the Adirondack Thunders, and that's in Glen Falls, New York. Their capacity is 4,794. The Greensboro Gargoyles, from Greensboro, North Carolina. That arena can hold 2,200 people. So these are arena capacities, not actual attendance. The Maine Mariners of Portland, Maine, which is the Boston Bruins ECHL minor league affiliate, used to be the Maine Mariners of the American Hockey League, which were the AAA Bruins affiliate, and then they moved to Providence, Rhode Island, to become the Providence Bruins, where they've been for 30 years. But like I said, New England hockey, Boston Bruins, hockey culture. Hockey is winter culture. Hockey is life. Ask any hockey parent out there driving to the rink at 5 a.m. The Norfolk Admirals at Norfolk, Virginia. The Reading Royals of Reading, Pennsylvania. The Trois-Rivières Lions of Trois-Rivières, Quebec. Province, Quebec. It's outside of Quebec City. And the Wheeling Nailers, they're from Wheeling, West Virginia. The Worcester Railers of Worcester, Massachusetts. They used to be the Worcester Ice Cats when the AHL, the American Hockey League, had an affiliate. And there was also one up in Manchester, New Hampshire, too, called the Manchester Monarchs. And I think they were the LA Kings farm team. I love seeing minor league hockey. I wish I could go more. But Worcester, yeah, that's not that far away. I can hop on a train and be to Worcester in an hour and go and enjoy some minor league hockey in a day. Same thing, 2 hours. Go up to Providence, Rhode Island. See some Maine Mariners. Go see some Bruins futures and prospects develop. It's 45 minutes to Providence, Rhode Island on the train, the subway, not the subway, the Amtrak or the commuter rail. There's good hockey in striking distance. There's the Jacksonville, Florida Icemen. They're the Worcester Railers. They play at the DCU Center, which is formerly the Worcester Centrum. Bum bum bum. Where I've seen plenty of metal shows. The Atlanta Gladiators. They're in Duluth, Georgia. The Florida Everblades, who are Estero of Florida, which is, I have no idea, where is that? Is that in the Tampa area? The Greenville Swamp Rabbits in Greenville, South Carolina. The Jacksonville Icemen in Jacksonville, Florida. The Orlando Solar Bears in Orlando, Florida. The Savannah Ghost Pirates in Savannah, Georgia. The South Carolina Stingrays in North Charleston, South Carolina. Then there's the Bloomington Bison in Bloomington, Illinois, the Cincinnati Cyclones, the Fort Wayne Comets, the Indy Fuel, the Iowa Heartlanders, the Kalamazoo Michigan Wings, the Toledo Walleye. There's also the Allen Americans from Allen, Texas. That's interesting. I wonder if they were formerly the Rochester Americans. You know what I mean? The American Hockey League. Don't know. Kansas City Mavericks, Rapid City Rush, Rapid City, South Dakota. And this Tahoe Night Monsters of State Line, Nevada, Tulsa Oilers of Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Utah Grizzly of West Valley City, Utah, and the Wichita Thunder of Wichita, Kansas. So yeah, there's imagine if you're Tahoe, Idaho, and Utah, and Rapid City, and New Mexico, which is planned for next year. They're the New Mexico Goatheads. Jeez, and they're out in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, in the Albuquerque area. And there's Augusta as well, coming in the 27-28 season. Augusta, Georgia. So there's and these are imagine the travel, and then your games are you play 3 in a row, and you're always playing against your division rivals because it's the distribution of where the teams are. It's pretty. It doesn't. Well, maybe it works or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I really don't. So the ECHL, the league, and the players' union came to an agreement after a 3-day strike. The players had a strike. The teams, the owners were going to have scab players. If dress 13 players plus 2 goalies, then you can play. And so some of these games are going to be rescheduled, and they're coming to an agreement. And it looks like the owners have capitulated and have given the players union what they wanted, because there was a big hubbub about it on hockey Twitter and hockey Twitter timeline. My hockey Twitter timeline, I would never known about this unless it was if it wasn't for the algorithm that knows that I am a hockey fan, and so it's been giving me these ECHL updates for about 2 weeks now. It's a building story. It's been and so finally, just yesterday, the owners and the players union have come to a tentative agreement that needs to be ratified and recognized by both sides. But hey, by December 31st, in just a couple of days, things of the East Coast Hockey League should be back to normal. There's no more strike. We've agreed in principle to go forward and to get along with this season and to do it and to capitulate to some of these, actually to most of the players' demands, which are reasonable. Yes. I'm having a cup of tea. It's Chicago Day here. See, in my cup. Chicago. It's my Starbucks City mug. My Chicago Blackhawks jersey. This is my Bobby Orr jersey. Seriously, this is a Bobby Orr jersey. This is sacrilege to wear in Boston. I like that. That's my sense of humor. That's just like, oh, so it's forbidden, huh? What else do we got? What else do we got to talk about today? Yeah, so the ECHL, the strike is over, apparently. Also, non-NHL news is the International Ice Hockey Federation's World Junior Championships are going on right now. It's an under-20 tournament. There's also an under-18 tournament, too, but this is the basically 17 to 20-year-olds who are the draft picked, who are some of the best young players. They are the best young players of this year, representing each other's country. Team USA has a few Bruins prospects and who are lighting it up. Team USA is currently leading the World Junior Championships, which are being played in the USA. Michigan, I think. But yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say about the juniors. I mean, it's entertaining hockey. It's it's nice uniforms, like these national uniforms, Team USA jerseys. Come on, there's no Team Ireland, but there's like this Switzerland, Canada, Czechia. I think there's been a name change. I'm not sure. Slovakia, no Russia though. I don't think Russia's involved. And Russia can't play at the Olympics either, and that's because of their persecution of the how can we say this without getting endangered? Chicken. Their love of chicken Kiev. It's a popular dish. Chicken Kiev. What is chicken Kiev? I should know. It's like it's got a breading in it, and it's got you stuff it with ham. It's close to a chicken. Chicken Kiev. Chicken Kiev, yes, it's breaded and it's stuffed with it's a flattened chicken breast pounded around cold herbed butter, then breaded and fried until baked golden and the butter melting into its flavorful sauce. It's also stuffed with the herbs are herb de Provence. So it's chicken. It's butter stuffed chicken, and you bread it, and then you can saute it. And the butter melts, and then you cut it open. My mouth is watering. That's chicken Kiev. And the love of chicken Kiev is why the Ruskies can't play internationally right now. But it's still okay to like Nikita Zadorov, all right? Or Kirill Kaprizov if you're in Minnesota. What else is going on? So yeah, that's the non-NHL news. Non-NHL news. The ECHL strike. Updates, opinions, and expectations. My expectation, to be honest with you, is that ticket prices will rise. Concession prices will rise. And then all of this, is expansion good for a minor league team, a bus league team, when tickets are already made to be affordable for the customer base. I mean, once you price out these, once the, it's, but these are legitimate complaints and concerns. I mean, costs rise everywhere. Is going to a minor league, minor pro hockey team an extravagance? It kind of is. You go there, the ticket prices are, very reasonable. You get, you should be getting 3 20-minute periods of really decent hockey. They're wearing like great apparel. Like all of these hockey jerseys are so well designed. All these mascots, the color combinations, the typeface of the numbers and the nameplates. Everything. So it's a hockey team. But it's a bus league, all the same. What do they do? Do you raise concession prices? Usually, the team has a deal with the arena on their lease that there's a split on concessions, because they would not be selling those concessions without the event. That's part of the deal, But what do you do? I mean, it's already affordable. Do you make it unaffordable? Like here in Boston, it's pert near unaffordable to go to sports events. Being a blue collar fan, it's an extravagance. It's not a commonplace thing. Go into the Red Sox. Go into the Bruins. Such a blue collar things like bleacher seats or balcony seats. They're so expensive. So in scale, the players are getting paid. Roughly, but it's life, and you need to make more than $600 a week, and that's for a veteran, and that is what they get. Is that before or after taxes? I don't know, but we're talking also about maybe just a percentage of the players, because other players in the East Coast Hockey League under AHL or NHL contract, they get counted in the calculus and the math of the paid players. But there is a core of the team that are contract players that are signed with the team, and those are the players that are getting the $60 per diem. Those are the players that are getting $600 a week. Those are the you know what I mean? Because the other players, the shuttle players, they're under contract with the parent team, or the parent teams, and their pay scale is a lot different. And they're down in the ECHL for a different reason, to get some playing time, to get some seasoning, to find their shot, maybe to recover from an injury, some rehabilitation, something like that. They get a training contract, a walk-on, and be like, okay, he's a trial offer, you know what I mean? Let's see how quickly you come back up. Something like that, So again, how many players are in this financial need, and how much of, so questions, like I always say, I don't have answers. All I have are more questions, but it's really interesting. It really is. And that's hockey news. And I'm here for it. Oh boy. What else is on the list? Chicken Kiev. It's on the menu. I love chicken. Let's see. I was gonna do the elite player thing, but I'm not. Like I said, the word elite gets overused. What happened to All-Star? Let me go to my Grok, where I keep track of my hockey stuff in bookmarks. Yeah, so the East Coast Hockey League announced a tentative collective bargaining agreement with the Professional Hockey Players Association, ending a 2-day player strike that began December 26th after the prior CBA expired back in June. Players will report to teams in good faith to prepare for the 2025-26 season, pending ratification by Players Association members and league board approval, averting a longer lockout in the league, known as a key NHL developmental pathway. This resolution highlights the Players Association's successful leverage in negotiations, as evidenced by replies celebrating the union's unity and critiquing prior league offers, ensuring over 700 ECHL alumni continue transitioning to higher leagues like the AHL. That's one way to look at it. Yeah, I mean, just an immediate 19.8% increase to the team salary cap for the rest of the season, paid retroactively from the start of the season. So all the players now, like they wanted 20%, and this is as close as the owners would come to 20%. They just couldn't do 20%. They just couldn't break. This is as close as they can get. I've been reading this part. Yeah. Additional cap increases in future years totaling nearly 27% higher player salaries compared to the prior cap. Continued 100% league coverage of fully furnished housing, utilities/internet, and medical/dental benefits. You need those dental benefits when you are a hockey player. Increased per diems, meal reimbursements while traveling. So that's not like, at home. This is like on travel days, and then you have to have original receipts or you're not getting it. I need it for my P card reconciliation. The office people know exactly what I'm talking about. Raising it to $60 per day this season and a 24.5% overall increase from prior rates. Health and safety improvements such as mandatory days off, limits on travel between back-to-back games, a modified holiday/mid-season breaks, provision of custom sticks, and allowance for alternate 5-star rated helmets. And but yeah, so these things, those all are reasonable requests. They really are. I think so. What does Grok have to say? What else I make Grok lists. I make bookmarks, and then I take them off the bookmarks. I was thinking about, I'm kind of hung up on the modern NHL talk, about the modern hockey talk. You come to a YouTube channel in 2025, 2026, talking about professional hockey. A lot of the conversation is based in something called expected statistics. Also in the salary cap era too, you need to have some healthy respect and a little bit of know-how on how it works. Like, what is the salary cap? What does this mean? Well, for 20 years, that's one generation. Since that 2004, 2005 lockout and CBA that's been extended a few times, we have the 50-50 revenue split. And that's increased the salary cap every year that's gone by astronomically. So now that players can be afforded these huge contracts, and how much the salary cap is really depends on how much talent your team has this season, how much latitude they have to make trades, or it's part. These are part of the moving pieces of the clockwork of this season's team, of your season's team. It's part of the clockwork. You have to keep track of a salary cap page. I do, and it's like oh wow, and it's week to week. Some weeks you come close, some weeks you're underneath it. You got someone coming back from long-term injury reserve, and you might see a trade happen, and but there are a lot of these new stats, and so I hear a lot of buzzwords, things I haven't heard before, and in context of the big hockey conversation, and I hear it all the time on the other. I end up watching a lot more hockey content these days because I'm making it, so YouTube suggests it, but I watch it because these are people that know a hell of a lot more than I do. I have a show, I have an opinion, I like hockey. I'm of a different generation. I'm into shoot, skate, hit 'em. That's what we yell from the balcony, the gallery gods chant that. Shoot, skate, hit 'em. What does that have to do with high danger shots in percentage and expected statistics? We're in the 21st century. We're in a place, it's not just about money puck, it's about micro statistics, and it's about now the ability you have to track and to keep the data over time, over seasons, multiple seasons. So shots taken from specific points on the ice in the offensive zone all add up. And so what is a high danger? So I asked Grok, I said, Grok, in autistic detail, please explain to me high danger, quote unquote, in use of modern NHL stats. When did these data become popular? When did this become popular? Is that some foolish way to describe shots from the point and the slot with little defense? Actually, it was. Who popularized it? Is this just to make graph and pie charts to give the illusion of conversation, or do these stats actually matter? Do they help? That is and this is why I like Grok, because you make a question, you frame it. It's contextual. You add some layers to it. Give me some history. Give me a who, what, where, when, why, how, and why. Give me a little bit to it. Some meat to these bones. In NHL hockey analytics, high danger, often abbreviated as HD, refers to a specific classification of shot attempts or scoring chances that are deemed to have a significantly higher probability of resulting in a goal compared to average shots. The metric is part of a broader framework in advanced hockey statistics that it emphasizes shot quality over mere quantity. To break it down precisely, shots are categorized into low danger, medium danger, and high danger zones based primarily on their location on the ice relative to the net. Yeah, like the slot and the point, and the blue line. Those are the three major, old style ways to describe the offensive zone and the neutral zone, and then your defensive zone. With adjustments sometimes made for factors like shot type, for example, a rebound, a rush, or a deflection. The high danger area is typically defined as the slot, a rectangular zone directly in front of the goal, extending roughly from the goal line to about 15 to 20 feet out, bounded by the hash marks on the face-off circles in the goalposts. More formally, per NHL tracking, it's the area within 29 feet of the center of the goal, bound on both sides by imaginary lines from the goalposts to the hash marks. And at the bottom of the goal line, this zone accounts for approximately 5% of all shot attempts league-wide, produces a disproportionately high number of goals because shots from here have an average conversion rate, it's a shooting percentage, of about 19 to 20%. 2 out of every 10 shots of that, 1 out of every 5 get in. And if you're lucky enough to get a shot in from the, compared to 1 to 3% for long range shots. Interesting, because the point would be from the face-off circles. So that's the point. And the circles of the face. There's an inner circle. There's the face-off dot. There's the inner circle. Then there's the outer circle. And then there's the blue line, which is behind that. That's the defensive zone. That's like that's. Excuse me. To quantify it further, in many analytics models, such as those from sites like MoneyPuck or Natural Stat Trick, that's so clever. A high danger shot is an unblocked shot attempt. Now, this is a Fenwick shot. And now we have to get into the introduction of what's a Fenwick shot and what's a Corsi shot? And do you know what a Fenwick is? Do you know what a Corsi is? And if you don't, then what do you have any business doing talking about hockey online, on YouTube, with other hockey fans, modern hockey fans? No, I'm just being facetious. This is a hyperbolic thing. I'm being satirical. I'm being teasing. I'm joking. I am today's years old finding out what the F, what was that? Kendrick number? Is that it? A Fenwick shot, and the Corsi shot. I am today years old finding out this terminology. But apparently I just did a little RTFM, read that fucking manual, and it's like, oh, so like the high danger shot is an unblocked shot attempt, and they call that a Fenwick shot, with at least a 20% expected goal probability. And the Fenwick shot is a little different than a Corsi shot. We'll get into that just like real briefly. I don't want to bore you, but I find this shit fascinating. Like, this is literally advanced hockey statistics. And this is where the conversation went. I'm wondering if I could ask, like, one of my best friend's teenage sons who play hockey. I was like, hey, how your Fenwick shots doing? And I wouldn't be surprised one bit if I got an answer, because they're pretty good hockey players. A high danger shot is an unblocked shot attempt, aka a Fenwick shot, with at least a 20% expected goal probability calculated using historical data on goal rates from similar situations. Some systems assign a numerical danger score to each chance. Low danger might be 1, a perimeter shot, medium 2, and high danger 3 or more, based on location, with bonuses for elements like rebounds, which increase danger by allowing less time for the goalies to react, or cross-slot passes, which are one-timers and tic-tac-toes. For example, a one-timer from the low slot after a rebound would score highly, while a wrist shot from the blue line, aka the point, would be low danger. Metrics derived from this include high danger scoring chances for, against. Now it's getting into like really some mathy shit that just kind of bores me. And then it kind of also gets like into like, 5-on-5. A lot of it has to do with being 5-on-5 and about 5-on-5 for 60 minutes. And that never happens because there are always penalties. There are always penalties to kill. I mean, the probability of a penalty-free game is so wicked low. It's just that it's ridiculous, but it does happen though. It's not completely ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous means worthy of ridicule, but it is so few and far between that there would be a penalty-free game. Let's see. How many penalty-free games are a season? How many penalty-free games per NHL season? And I'm just asking Google. Penalty-free games are extremely rare in the NHL, with only a handful, around 5 in 1,000 games, recorded historically in certain periods. As penalties are very common, that's from the Google AI. Google AI. But a lot, 60 minutes. I mean, what about overtime? Overtime statistics, are they, your shots are still calculated. Shots on goal is still calculated. So these Fenwick shots and these Corsi shots must still happen in overtime, even though it's 3-on-3. And for an extra 5 minutes, it's no longer, the potential of 5v5 in 60 minutes, and as always, a penalty shot goals do not count and matter into your season stats. Those are a separate statistic. The classification isn't arbitrary. It's rooted in empirical data showing that the shot location is the single biggest predictor of whether a shot becomes a goal, explaining why teams now prioritize north-south plays, driving to the net, over east-west perimeter cycling. Advanced models like expected goals build on incorporating pre-shot movement, traffic in front of the net, and defensive pressure. But the core high danger concept remains location driven. And then the second part of my question was like, when did this become popular? I'm a 53-year-old lifelong fan. These are new terms to my vocabulary. These are adding to my hockey literacy. I am learning more about my hobby and about my beloved sport. When did these data become popular? High danger metrics gained widespread popularity in the mid-2010s. So this is relatively a recent phenomenon, especially in my personal experience, but also in the history of the NHL, which is over 100 years old. Aligning with the broader explosion of advanced analytics in the NHL, the roots trace back to the early 2010s when basic possession stats like Corsi, which are total shot attempts, and Fenwick, those are unblocked shot attempts. So the only difference between a Corsi shot and a Fenwick shot is that Corsi shots include blocked shots. So you're taking shots from high danger areas. You know, I mean, so a Corsi shot takes it's either a shot on goal, a blocked shot, or a missed wide shot, but it's still a scoring opportunity. It's not a shot on goal, but you did get a shot off in the area of the ice, in that danger zone, the high danger area. And the Fenwick takes away the blocked shot. So it just becomes about the shooter and the target and not about the intention of a defender. You know, so it's, you know, and it becomes shooter on goalie, and whether or not it's wide or hits the goalie, whether or not it's a goal save, it's about shot. It's about the shot, you know, and some of those, and then comes the math, the shot becoming a goal. But a bunch. The Fenwick unblocked shots were introduced around 2007, 2011, revealing that shot volume predicted future success better than traditional plus minus. Plus minus is an interesting stat that's been around forever. And it's about you being on ice, total ice time, and if there are goals given, goals for, and goals against. So if you have a plus 26, that means you have been, you know, you have been on the ice, and we have scored 26 times. We're in the plus in the ledger of that. So like you being on ice is a predictor that we have a better probability of scoring a goal. Or if you're someone like, you know, like Mason Laurie last year, he was minus 43, I believe. Was that it? In last season's prolapse. I mean, a defenseman, if you're on the ice, we've let up 44 goals while you're on ice, and you're a defenseman. That's a ridiculous stat. I mean, but it's you know what I mean? The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't care about your fifis. So yeah, the difference between a Corsi and a Fenwick shot. And this is the shit I found out today. This is the stuff I find out making this show. And this is why I love hockey. I keep finding out new stuff about, you know, my about my beloved, you know, hobby and sport here. Analysts began segmenting shots by danger zone around 2013, 2014, with early implementations on site like War on Ice, with explicitly mapped ice surfaces into low, medium, high danger areas based on historical goal probabilities. So it's like just like all those dots you see on the goal map, you know what I mean? Meaning like shots on net. I mean, they keep track of every single shot by every single player, and you know, by area, and your ability to get off shots. And so it is not just about the shots on goal. It's about quality shots that have the higher potential, the potentiality of making it into the net. It's not foolish at all. It's data. I say, you know, I asked also, is this some foolish way to describe shots from the point in the slot with little defense? It's not foolish at all. Little defense isn't explicitly part of the basic definition. High danger is mostly location based, but advanced iterations do factor in defensive pressure. And who popularized it? You know what I mean? A couple of guys on War on Ice, Sam Ventura and Andrew Thomas in 2014, Daryl Metcalf, of the founder of Extra Skater in 2013, which evolved into Natural Stat Trick. High danger tracking became a staple feature for public use. Hockey Viz, and so this is basically this is a 21st century ability with technology and recording and data keeping. And, you know, these stats absolutely matter and provide tangible beyond aesthetics. Because I asked, is this just to make graphs and pie charts, meaning like the feminization? It's actually me. It's my old misogynist joke about how chicks need PowerPoint presentations and shit, and it makes them happy. So I'm like, this feminization of sports. So we have to give something to give to the executives that they have to hire from HR and the Ivy League business schools. You know what I mean? Like, oh, pie graph, you know, it's just that's just being silly. Okay, there's no marginalization or punching down on any people. Is this just to me? Well, besides New York Rangers fans, of course. Is this just to make graphs and pie charts to give the illusion of conversation, or do these stats actually matter? Do they help? These stats absolutely matter and provide tangible value beyond aesthetics. They're predictive tools that inform strategy and player evaluation, betting. A lot of this stuff, like all the betting apps, you know what I mean? They're driven by this stuff. You know, your fantasy stats are driven by this stuff. So it's not just, you know, just the having the conversation about the sports. There are derivative escapisms in that too. Betting and fantasy stuff, which could be considered betting, I guess, you know, and team building far from mere illusion. While they do lend themselves to compelling visualizations, you know, heat maps showing danger zones or pie chart breakdown and shot shares, their utility is in quantifying what eyes can't always see. Not all shots are created equal. And focus on high danger generation suppression correlates strongly with wins. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, that was my learning moment today about NHL hockey, about well, not just about NHL hockey, about all kinds of hockey, about Corsi stats, about the Fenwick, and about high danger stats. Interesting. The Bruins have been doing kind of poorly. We have lost 5 out of our past 6 games. We lost in Buffalo the other night. We're playing against Calgary tonight, going on a 5-game road trip. The schedule is very interesting. We did 5 straight at home, which we went 1-3-1, which is basically 1-4. And then we're doing a 5-game road trip. Then we're coming back to another 5-game homestand. So it's like, it's an interest. I mean, yeah, huh? The Bruins right now are tied for 7th place with the Ottawa Senators with 41 points in their standings. The Maple Leafs in last place, but everyone in the Atlantic Division, all 8 teams are over 500. And any of these teams in the 6, 7, 8 spot would be mid-pack in, say, the Pacific division of the Western Conference, because they just points wise. So it's a tough division. I mean, the Atlantic stuff, and then the Metropolitan Division too. Still, all 8 teams, 500 or better. Columbus Blue Jackets are the worst team at 15-15, I think, with with their overtime losses. But the Bruins aren't looking too good. But we started off good with low expectations, and then, over time and over data. I mean, there's all this data stuff, all these micro statistics and all these mappings. I mean, these kick in, and then they're watching the films of this season of your upcoming, and there's just so much intelligence devoted for figuring out the space and time that you have on ice versus other players, and then when you have the scoring opportunity. What else is going on? Let's see. High danger opportunities. That's right. Please speak to the assistant to the regional manager. Or you can talk to Pikachu. Positions available. Apply within. Subscribe to the Smoking Puck, your Boston-based, Bruins-biased hockey show. We're having tea. This is my grandma's teapot. Well, now that the NHL's roster freeze is over, just ended the other day, this weekend, I wonder what we can expect. For trades and movement. I mean, will the Bruins move Joonas Korpisalo, their erstwhile backup goaltender? Who would we get for him? Who would want to take him? What do we do with his salary? How painted in the corner are we? We only have about $1 million in the salary cap that we can play with. If they waive him, they're still on the hook to pay him. They send him down to the minors to make room to call up another goalie, to give someone else a chance. A backup goalie needs to be giving the starting goalie the ability to rest every 4 games or so, and we don't have the confidence in Korpisalo right now. And he's been in the league. He's 31 years old. He's a 6'4" Finnish player. Finland, once again, Finland is their greatest export. NHL goalies. Finland's greatest export. Finland's biggest exports vary slightly by year and classification, but consistently include refined petroleum, sandpaper, paperboard products like coated paper, stainless steel, wood pulp, and machinery equipment, especially paper-making machines and specialized ships like cruise liners and icebreakers, alongside strong performance electronics, chemicals, and forest products, making metals, forest industry, and technology key drivers. But what they don't mention are NHL goaltenders. That's right, NHL goaltenders in Finland. Let's see, didn't I thought I saved this. Okay, Grocky, please get into the nitty-gritty and look at this. My theory is that Finland's major export has to be professional ice hockey goaltenders. But look into the past 2 decades of Finland's contribution to the ranks of NHL elite and all-star goalies. Please give me numbers, weights, and heights. Finland is punching way above its weight in exporting world-class NHL goaltenders is no joke. Over the past 2 decades, roughly 05 to 25, the country has churned out a disproportionate number of elite netminders who've dominated the league, racking up Vezina trophies, all-star nods, shutouts, and hardware like Stanley Cups. While Finland's population is tiny, about 5.5 million, they've supplied around 20 to 25 goalies who have seen NHL action in this span, but the real standouts, the elite and all-star, number about half a dozen who consistently rank among the league's best and in save percentages, goals against average, wins, and longevity. To quantify it, since 2005, Finnish goalies have accounted for roughly 5 to 7% of the NHL starting goaltenders in any given season, despite Finland representing less than 1% of the global hockey-playing population. They've claimed 3 Vezina trophies, best goalie in that period, Mikko Koprisalo in 2006, Tuukka Rask here in Boston in 2014, and Pekka Rinne in 2018, which is more than powerhouse like Russia or Sweden. This is more than powerhouses like Russia or Sweden. And in multiple finalist nominees, Joonas Korpisalo finishing top 5 3 times recently in all-star appearances, over a dozen combined. And yeah, it's like Finland's got a goalie factory. For context, the U.S., with 10 times the population, has just won 4 Vezinas in the same time frame. Focusing on elite tier, guys with 400-plus career gameplays, high-end stats, all-star / Vezina pedigree. Here's the nitty-gritty breakdown. Grok pulled NHL stats, regular season only as of late 2025, heights and weights and key accolades from the past 20 years. These are the heavy hitters who's defined Finland's export quality. Note, stats align closely across sources like Quant Hockey, Wikipedia. Minor variances exist due to ongoing seasons, but these are comprehensive. We got Pekka Rinne. He was 6'6", 216 pounds. Wow, Vezina Cup trophy finalist. Where's the slide for this thing? Why can't I see the whole page? Oh, here we go. Vezina winner, Vezina finalist, All-Star Games, Jennings Trophy, which is best duo, Stanley Cup finalist. Kari Lehtinen, he was 6'4", 210 pounds. Mikko Koprisalo, 6'1", 187 pounds. Tuukka Rask, 6'3", 176 pounds. Antti Niemi, 6'2", 210 pounds. And Joonas Korpisalo was 5'11", and his stats are still stacked. His stats are still active because he's still playing. He plays for the Predators. Nashville Predators, number 74. He's 30 years old. But yeah, Finland exports goalies. That's been my theory. And it was nice to ask Rock that question, but Joonas Korpisalo, I mean, again, another Finnish goaltender, but is he finished here in Boston? Is he bringing the team down with the worst thing about, he got pulled the other night after letting up 5 goals, and then Swayman, had to play the rest. Tired. It was his day off and he had to play because, his backup let up too many goals. But then the Montreal game, that was Swayman, but we didn't just lose 6-2. It's because we were up 2-1 and gave up 5 unanswered goals. But then we were up 1-0 last night in Buffalo, the other night in Buffalo. And then we let up 4 unanswered goals. So it's not just the goalie's fault. The defensive break. This is about defense. It literally is. It's about giving too many high danger scoring opportunities. Pretty much, huh? And that is what killing Boston right now. Yeah. I asked Rock about Gary Bettman. Where is he? Where is Gary Bettman? Oh, I thought I saved that. Gary Bettman. I said, no more Kings. We've had all this political jargon about no more Kings. And it's just all bluster and stuff because, it's just pretty much one-sided polemics. But what about in corporate structures and business structures? I mean, you have no more Kings in government. I mean, you have people in Congress for several decades. And that's come on. But what about in corporate things too? The NHL in the early 1990s had an identity crisis, and rightfully so. It was preparing itself for the inevitability of the 21st century. It needed to crack the code, and it understood that it tried to emulate the National Basketball Association, but it needed to remain true to itself, even though it needed to adapt over time, especially with rule changes, equipment changes, and expansion. But since the early 1990s, because that's when San Jose came in, and that's when Ottawa came in, and then began that next generation of NHL expansion. We went to 26 teams. Now we're up to 32 teams. But the entire time, there's been Mr. Gary Bettman, and he's been the commissioner of the NHL, the highest position an executive can have in the NHL. Gary Bettman has been the NHL's first and only commissioner since February 1st of 1993, making him the longest serving active leader among the major North American professional sports and leagues as of 2025. His tenure is highly polarizing, praised for transforming the NHL into a financially robust business, and criticized for labor disputes, the lockouts, the strikes. There's been a few, at least 3, I believe, in that time. For labor disputes, fan alienation, and perceived prioritization of U.S. expansion over traditional markets, aka Quebec City or somewhere else in Canada, where hockey came from. Gary Bettman. When Gary Bettman took over, the annual league revenue was about $400 to $500 million, and that was in 1993. Let's look at the inflation calculator. That's like $400 million. In February of 1993, when he took over. Oh, please use values less than 10 million. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I use this thing called the CPI inflation calculator at the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. I got it bookmarked because I use it for comic book stuff all the time. And a 10-cent comic in 1938 would go for about $2.14 today. And it had 60 pages. It was on cheaper paper and had a lot more, it had advertisements that all deferred from its production cost. Blah, blah, blah. What about the price of hockey sticks? Let's see. What's the average price of a modern hockey stick? The average price for a moderate composite hockey stick varies widely, from around $70 to $150 for beginners models and $250 to $400 for elite pro level sticks, with many high performance sticks hovering around the $200 to $300 mark. Imagine if you're a beer hockey player. Per player. That's like what? Wow. That's good to know. Now imagine that, huh? Imagine that now. Imagine your player keeps breaking sticks on those slap shots that aren't taken. Maybe you can correlate something. You broke X amount of sticks not taken in the danger zone, so therefore you owe us Y amount of dollars. Or you destroyed this stick after you got called for a game misconduct, and you got you broke a stick on the way out in a tantrum. You owe us $400. I think that's fair. I think it's more than fair. But Gary Bettman, the commissioner, the league of the commissioner. You know what I mean? Just like we have, all four sports. It's like commonplace in your lexicon. These buzzwords and the go-tos of Paul Tagliabue and Bart Bart Giamatti or but Gary Bettman, he's been in 1993, the NHL, the owners and the boards created the position of league commissioner. And Bettman's been there the entire time, 32 years. When Bettman took over, the annual league revenue was around 400 to 500 million. By the 24-25 season, it reached approximately 6.8 billion, with projections approaching 7 billion soon after. This growth has increased franchises' values dramatically. The average team worth rose from under $200 million to over $1 billion, and secured major TV deals in the U.S., NBC, ESPN, Turner, and in Canada with the Rogers Network. Over Bettman's time, the league has expanded from 24 to 32 teams, adding franchises in non-traditional markets like Vegas, which was highly successful. They've won a Stanley Cup. And Seattle relocated struggling teams. The Atlanta Thrashers moved to the Winnipeg Jets and just became, Winnipeg. They lost their team once to the Arizona Coyotes, and guess what? They show up. Now they had their team taken away from them once. Are they going to let that happen again? Only attendance and lack of fealty and lack of showing up to these games and buying their materials and buying their tickets, and only that will prove that they can't do it anymore. Relocated struggling teams and stabilized others through revenue sharing and a hard salary cap. He introduced the Winter Classic outdoor games, shootouts, which is a give and take, but they reconcile ties. There are no more ties in hockey. The 3-on-3 overtime, it's done on purpose to open up more ice space and create more scoring opportunities to settle the game in overtime rather than to have it go into a shootout. Enhanced player safety measures, concussion protocols, head hit rules. Seriously, the game has gotten less and less vicious. You know what I mean? Fighting seems to be up and roughing, but hits from behind, headhunting, and especially concussion protocol as well. We've come a long way, a very long way, and they've been learning so much about that kind of stuff and applying it in here in this trade. Yeah. He promoted international play, including NHL participation in Olympics 1998 through 2014, and that just resumed this season and will be in effect for the 2030 Winter Olympics in the French Alps. So, and the recent returns. He was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2018, the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame, and received Sports Business Journal's Lifetime Achievement Award in 2023, and he was named Sports Executive of the Year in 2014. These accomplishments have created competitive parity via the salary cap. I mean, that means all teams are created equal now. They really are. And it's about getting players to play for your team, interested in representing your city, proud to wear your jersey, and to show up for your fans, and to do the best that they can. Yeah. These accomplishments have created a competitive parity via the salary cap. The salary cap was introduced 20 years ago. That's why we're 20 years into this post-salary cap. We used to have something before that too called the dead puck era. We'll go into that in a different show. I don't want to bore you with too much. But the dead puck era was just like, well, it basically was what it was. You know what I mean? Just clutch and grab, dump and chase. Kind of boring, but still, it's still hockey. These accomplishments had created competitive parity via the salary cap, introduced post 2004-25 lockout, the 2004-2005 lockout. Yeah, that broke my heart. I was really pissed about that. Yeah, who wouldn't be? And grown grassroots hockey participation in the U.S. He's had 3 disputes and lockouts. 1995-94 was 104 days, and we had that 48-game schedule. Remember that? Oh, man. The entire 2004-2005 season was canceled. It was the first North American league to lose a full season due to a labor issue. And that was hardball between the owners and the Players Association. And what came out of that was the Phoenix rising from the ashes, where we have a more financially stable league. We have growth. This is like, we really this modern league. And now we also have this embracing of said micro statistics and a new level of data and how to use it. Well, about gameplay analytics. I mean, geez, I am just a high school graduate. Most of this shit goes over my head. And the 2012-2013 season shortened to 48 games. These disrupted the game, alienated fans, damaged momentum, and with Gary Bettman as the public face of that, representing the league. Overall, it's been give or take, but no more kings. But it's such a weird thing, about, sometimes strong leadership, and I'm not saying this in a government way, but the proof of the pudding is on the plate. Look at Gary Bettman. He's going to retire one day. He's going to pass this torch. He's going to pass this torch to somebody new, and they'll be the second commissioner, and they won't have his shoes to fill. They'll have to bring their own shoes. I mean, how old is he? Gary Bettman is 73 years old. And he probably he can't do this forever. And and hopefully he'll pass this on to someone that deserves it, and it will keep this going. But no more kings, huh? But then we have something like this, a despot. Is he an oligarch? Is he a despot? Is that or is that an unfair comparison? I don't know. But I thought it would just sound clever. No more Kings. Then explain Gary Bettman. He is, he's a big reason why the NHL is the way it is today. Like it or hate it. I mean, and I really think there's more to like than not to like. And that's about it for this episode of The Smoking Puck. We have covered a lot of ground, and we got Bruins hockey all week on a road trip. We'll see what becomes of this. Who's going to get traded next to where? What teams need help? Does my team need help? Or do we just have to juggle some talent around? We have a great thing going on in AAA Providence, Rhode Island with the Providence Bruins. Would calling up their goalie disrupt what they got going on down there and their successes? You know what I mean? Just is keeping Koprisalo in the system gonna help? Should we just part ways with him and just find someone else? All these questions will be answered during the season, day by day, week by week. It's The Smoking Puck. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Smash that like button, hit that hype button, put on leave a comment, be part of this hockey conversation. And it's The Smoking Puck, your Boston-based Bruins biased weekly hockey show here at the Reverend Sully Network, the Eric O'Sullivan channel. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. And we make lots of different kind of content here. And hopefully you're here for the ride. So God bless, namaste, good luck, and we will see you with more Smoking Puck. That's right. From Pikachu and myself here at the Boston studios, we thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.